All right, you ready?
I feel like I don't remember something like that, but that's fine. Welcome back to the KLT Fitcast, where we bring light to all of the hard questions, have the hard conversations, and help anyone out there who might be thinking, where the heck do I start? How the heck do I start?
What is fitness?
What is fitness?
Hey, I'm Josh. I'm Kate's husband. I am a full-time mental health worker. I've been in the field for over 10 years. And I guess I'm going to go back to my original line. I'm a full-time trophy husband as well.
Wow. And I'm Kate. I lost 150 pounds, but more importantly than that, I have kept it off, and I live and breathe what I preach every single day to all of our clients and anyone who comes through the doors or anyone who's listening to this or watching this. And together we own and operate a fitness studio in Peterborough, Ontario called Kate L. Tom's Fit.
But this podcast is about more than just workouts. It's about all of the challenging things that make up even stepping foot in a gym, or all of the hard decisions to try and change the way we eat and our relationship with food.
Our goal in every podcast is to give you some tools and some takeaways that you can implement in your day-to-day life as soon as you are done listening and watching. And today,
I have a bit of a thing that I'm a bit fired up about. Something that I've heard you talk about in a whole bunch of different ways, whether it's people that have gone through different group challenges, or when you do some one-on-one check-ins, or just people expressing challenges coming to the gym, all kinds of stuff like that. And it's all tied into one big concept.
which I think is also a large concept that you work very closely with day to day in your profession. And not saying that this topic is needs a social worker, but I think the root cause of it and the things that happen to us and the things that we are doing kind of all tie into that mental health
Yeah,
umbrella.
for sure, especially when it comes to this topic. So we'll dive in. I'm going to go on a bit of a rant for a while.
And I get to sit back and listen.
And you get to listen this time instead of me asking you a whole bunch of questions. So
Okay.
let's get into it.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I think one of the hardest things about living in today's world is how easy it's become to feel good instantly. And what I mean by that is everything that we have is built around us to give us a quick hit of satisfaction. It's a tiny rush of a chemical in our brain that's called dopamine that says, hey, that felt really nice.
Dopamine Nation.
Yeah, let's do it again. We grab our phones and check a notification. We might scroll for 5 minutes and then it turns into 20. You can grab a really easy high carb or high fat snack when we're stressed. We can order food in instead of cooking. We can buy something online because it feels good in the moment to spend that money. It's not because we're weak or lazy. It's because our brains are actually completely wired to chase this instant reward. And that's the challenge that we are faced with. Dopamine itself isn't bad. It's what gives us motivation. It's what makes us want to have goals. It's what makes us want to do things. But it's the way the world has built everything to tap into that dopamine response. They've kind of hacked that system on us. So when we look at things like social media, advertising, modern fitness, marketing, weight loss schemes, they all play on that same biological response. Lose 40 pounds in 4 weeks. Um, do a fit 21 or 75 or whatever hell the number is that people want to shout out when they're planning these things.
You go, Glen Coco. You go.
Yeah. They all play on that same biological response. They've turned our reward system into something that's essentially becomes short-circuited. It's built around the quick fix. And we're constantly chasing that next small, quick, and comfortable feeling because it does feel good. It feels good when we do a crash diet and lose 20 pounds in 2 or 3 weeks. And holy crap, I've gotten to my destination. We've become a world where it's about going from point A to point B and never really thinking about what's in between. It's all about that goal. It's all about,
Follow it blindly.
yeah,
Follow it blindly. Doesn't
ju-
make sense? It's
just do
fine.
it.
Follow it blindly.
Yeah. When you really think about it, that mindset, it bleeds into every part of our lives right now. It's how we approach our fitness and nutrition. We're taught, whether we realize it or not, to expect those fast results.
Mhm,
And it's so problematic. We're always looking for the next plan that can promise how we might be able to change things really quickly. And then we see a little bit of a success, and it's that instant gratification. We feel so good, and we've reached the point where we've gotten to point B in the program. And the problem is a lot of the times these things don't actually work how the programs are claiming them.
mhm,
It just plays off of that response. So even though you might be seeing that initial success, it's not really actually working. It's
mhm,
not really actually doing anything because truthfully, when we change if we change our diet patterns in any way, we're going to see some change no matter what.
mhm.
And so they know that and they play into that. Um, we're always getting that little hit of excitement, that feeling of control that I'm doing something, that
Mhm.
it gives you a rush. But then as you progress through, reality sets in. That's why a lot of times these things are over the next 4 weeks or over the next 30 days or 21 days to change your habits or build a habit or whatever the hell
Melt
nonsense
the
it is.
fat away.
Yeah, none of that is true. It's not sustainable. And that same system that started to make us feel good starts to make us feel really bad. And then we give up. And it's just another thing that's been thrown to the wayside. And we talked a lot about this sort of along the side of when we did our no fat diet episode, how this can be problematic for people. But I want to talk specifically about this cycle today.
Mhm.
It, it's not just in dieting, it's all over our lives. It really blends into how we cope and manage with stress. And I think that's where I get the most upset and fired up about this whole thing is we're living in a world where the things that teach us how to manage stress are short-term quick fixes that don't actually solve anything.
And they don't last. You
Yeah.
get that quick hit of dopamine, and guess what? It's
Yeah.
gone as fast as it comes into play.
And I'm going to talk about this in a really easy way. When we experience stress or we're tired, we're sad, we're overwhelmed, we have big emotions, it's really easy to reach for the things that offer quick fixes like comfort food, alcohol, non prescription drugs, scrolling, spending money, avoidance. All of those things, those are the quick fixes. Do they solve anything? No. Do they feel good in the moment? Yes. So we can lower our stress level by doing these things, but they don't actually help. And so what ends up happening is things just build up and become even more. And that is trouble. What it does is ultimately these things are training us, and we've been trained over a long period of time now to avoid discomfort, to avoid doing anything that takes any amount of time or effort because it's just easier to do the other things.
And when we buy into that quick fix,
Yep.
even though I guess it doesn't take any learning. So if you are buying into the next thing and following it blindly, would you say that part of the reason that it doesn't work is because if you actually learn nothing, we don't actually realize and understand that what we've just bought into doesn't actually make sense, but we need it. We need it. We need it. Made
Yeah.
no sense? Doesn't matter. We still need it.
Yeah, and I'm going to give an example of what you're talking about. And I showed you the thing this morning, and I'm going to try really hard to put a screen grab that I took of this up so you can see it
But
in
we're new
this
at this.
corner somewhere here, hopefully. I'm not very good at editing, but I'm going to try and put it up for a few seconds so you can see what I'm talking about. I had a targeted ad come to me that was about the carnivore diet. Eh,
Moments like moments after we finished talking about
about
this
this,
exact
yeah, and
podcast.
writing down all of our notes and kind of organizing ourselves for this podcast, it came up, and it's literally in, if you can see it, big letters, 20, 30, 40, just the numbers, and carnivore diet across the top. And then in tiny, tiny, tiny little print, it says under 20 in 2 to 4 weeks, under 30 in 4 to 6 weeks, and under 40, 12 plus weeks. Does that make any sense? Then, if you look even further down on this thing, there's a picture that someone has posted of some greasy looking meal that looks like it might be like a giant piece of chicken on top of cheese with steak underneath it.
Tossing some bacon.
Like, if I were to guess, I'd say that that thing, whatever monstrosity it is, sure, it's the carnivore diet because it's all meat and cheese and animal byproducts, and it looks kind of yummy. I bet it's 1,000 to 1,500
At
calories at
least,
least,
yeah.
at least. How could you be in a caloric deficit if you're eating that plus everything else during a day?
But the advertisement says so.
Exactly.
That made me feel really good to read that advertisement.
Yeah, well, it promises really quick results. I love that it has these big numbers that tell me I can lose a bunch of weight. It really shows how we're preyed upon for this quick fix cycle.
And how fast it preys upon us as well.
Yeah,
That was moments, even during, I don't even know that I'd closed my notebook by the time that came across your scroll. It
yeah.
happened so fast. If we say something,
Our phones are listening.
yeah, and it's in your face.
Yeah, and then the other side to this is, and I'm going to preface this by saying, if you use AI and you use it just as a tool, it can be pretty helpful. But if you're using it for more than that, it's a little agreement robot. Like, it will literally tell you any idea you have
Validate you all the time.
is right. If you tell it that, I want to watch my weight, but I'd also like to eat a whole bag of chips, it's going to help you plan for eating a whole bag of chips. It's not going to tell you you're wrong for eating the bag of chips. It's not going to tell you that it goes against your plan.
Mhm.
It's literally going to help you do whatever you want it to do because all it does is agree with whatever you want to do.
Do you think that people, so we've said the word dopamine, and I think the
Yeah.
word dopamine may even be one of those like niche words.
Yep.
Do people realize that they are searching for that dopamine hit in every single aspect of their life?
It well, like when we talk about dopamine, like I mentioned before, it's our feel good chemical in our brain. It's called a neurotransmitter. It essentially sends really happy signals to our brain, makes us feel really good. And when we look at things, we can see a similar response to things like social media and whatnot. The response in the brain around dopamine is very similar to that of an addiction.
Mhm.
Because we get addicted to this cycle of, hey, that feels good. Okay, I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to do it again. And then we end up scrolling for 20 minutes, or we end up drinking a 12 pack of beer. It's the same kind of concept. It's
Yeah.
just different in the actual mechanism that we're using.
Mhm.
So, what do we do about it? And I think that's where we have to talk about, how do we break this cycle?
Mhm.
How do we go from thinking about how the world is designed for instant gratification,
And I
instant good feeling?
and to make people feel like, "Oh, that's a good feeling. That's what success looks like."
Yeah. Yeah. So if we're talking about instant gratification, which is this cycle of instant reward, instant feeling good, point A to point B, and as quickly as we possibly can get there with the lowest amount of effort. We have to think of, well, what's the opposite of that? If we know that cycle is harmful to us, it's causing us harm, it's not helping us, it's not getting us to the things that we want to get to. Well, the opposite of that is delayed gratification. And like, I'm throwing a term out there for you, but like, if I say that to you, Kate, what do you think delayed gratification is?
It's accepting that it's a marathon and not a sprint.
Mm-hmm.
Always, always.
Yep.
That's always the term that I use. And I'm going to like spin it to health and wellness, but the journey to the weight loss goal, the physique, whatever it is that you are striving towards, it's a marathon. It is a long, slow process as opposed to a sprint that is the instant gratification.
Yeah. So if we know that our bodies are hardwired to instant gratification, to getting that quick dopamine hit, instant feeling good, but it's not really helping,
Mhm.
how do we go about retraining ourselves to getting to the point of actually wanting to delay that cycle, to not have it happen instantly?
And I don't want this to sound like the 12-step program,
Hmm.
but it sounds like accepting and reflecting upon, like, accepting the fact that this is what we're doing. Recognizing the dopamine, accepting that it's not helping us, then what?
Yeah, it is about
Step
accepting.
1.
Yeah, step one, sure, but it is about accepting that this is what's happening for us, and we are actively choosing that easy route. I think that in order to change something, we have to take accountability for the thing that we want to change.
It's really hard to take accountability.
It is very hard to take accountability.
The easier route is
Delay,
blaming something,
yeah,
blaming someone, anything, any other object, thing, as long as it's off of you, you don't have to be accountable for it. It is so hard.
it is. Yeah, but we are responsible for how we feel. No one is making us feel a certain way. Our choices are responsible for how we feel. And we can avoid it, we can run from it, we can deny it all we want. But the reality is, if we continue to stay stuck in this instant gratification cycle,
Mhm,
and we can do it indefinitely, you don't actually have to change this at all if you don't want to. Like, it is not something that we have to change. It is, if you want to, if you don't want to be stuck in this anymore, keep listening,
mhm.
because that's what we're going to talk about for the rest of this podcast, is how you can go about changing your own pathway from I need that next hit of good feeling to I need to have a plan. I'm executing my plan and I feel really good about this, because the rewards for delayed gratification are so much bigger than this small dopamine hit that you get in this cycle over and over and over again.
Love it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, so can we take a moment to just discuss the fly that is
Yes. We have a fly flying around the gym from our event yesterday. You're going to be watching this a month after we've recorded it, but
wow, it's really annoying touching your hands, my paper. Anyway, um, I want to just touch on the idea of it doesn't work when it comes to the delayed gratification of health and wellness.
mhm.
Because we see it all the time. You talked about it. Um, you see it, I don't want to say from the outside looking in, but
I
when we
see it
run,
from the mental health perspective of the destruction that it can cause.
yes, but I'm thinking of the group challenges, the one on one, even the in the moment stuff in person in the gym. Um, the people who still say that this doesn't work, this long delayed gratification doesn't work,
They're
be-
missing the point.
but then they will continually go back to the quick fixes, the fads,
Yep.
and say that they do work.
Because they're getting that positive reinforcement of the dopamine hit,
Mhm,
and they haven't changed the way they're thinking about delayed gratification. They're still stuck in the idea that I need to go from point A to point B, and it's just going to take longer.
mhm. I
and I'm
think
going to
there
accept that it's going to take longer. But the only thing I care about is going from point A to point B. So putting it into context of weight loss, I want to lose 20 pounds. There's my point B. My point A, I'm saying, okay, 20 pounds realistically, if I'm losing 1 to 2 pounds a week, that's going to take some time, probably roughly 5 to 10-ish weeks
Mhm.
in order to lose that weight. Or sorry, 10 to 20 weeks if we're losing
Yes.
yeah,
Sorry.
1 to 20 pounds. Sorry, bad
It's
math.
hard.
It's not hard. I just getting ahead of myself because I'm excited about this. So if we're accepting that point A, we're starting and we want to lose 20 pounds and it's going to take us 10 to 20 weeks. So we have our timeline. We know it's going to take longer than the 4 weeks that because the carnivore diet, easy fix, quick dopamine hit is going to give us.
Mhm.
So we've accepted that, but we're still okay. I just have to get to point B. So because it takes longer, do you think realistically, if point B is still losing 20 pounds, you can do that in 4 weeks with a
Why
quick
not do that
fix?
one?
Why not do the quick one? Sure, like absolutely. But you're completely missing the point of losing it slowly, properly, and sustainably.
And understanding what you're doing and actually how it is impacting your life. If
Yeah.
you take I feel like I touch this table a lot. If you
Me
take
too.
the
I'm doing the
fad
same thing.
diet that you okay, cool, you lost the 20 pounds in the 2 days or whatever whatever it said, 4 weeks, doesn't matter. Then you stop doing it, but then you have to go back and start here. This whole time frame from stopping to doing it and gaining all of the weight back, the people who keep going back to the fad diets, they don't see that as problematic. They just keep going
Yeah.
back to the quick fix, back to the quick fix, back to the quick hit.
Yeah. And experiencing that period of I've failed and I suck and it's all over and uh everything's awful.
And that's
And
where
that
you
lull where all motivation goes away, you withdraw from everything and you're not doing
Mhm.
any of the positive things
Because you
because
learned nothing and
yeah,
it was not sustainable real life.
exactly. So in order to change this, we have to change our way of thinking. We can't be thinking point A to point B. Let's throw point B out the window. There is no final destination. There's no, I'm just going to lose 20, I just want to lose 20 pounds. Sure, in your mind, that could be a milestone that you're going to celebrate, but that's not your end goal. Your end goal is to start thinking about what is the journey that I am on? And this is a powerful concept to think about. What is the journey that I am on? Well, my goal is to lose weight. So my journey is what do I need to do to change my lifestyle to lose weight and continue to lose weight
Mhm.
and feel good about myself? And how do I find small victories along the way so I can still get those dopamine hits so that I'm enjoying the journey
Mhm.
and not the destinations?
Taking that 20 pounds and putting it out the window because what matters way before that 20 pounds, 1 pound,
Yeah,
2 pounds. Oh,
an inch.
yeah, an inch, fitting into a different pair of pants.
Yeah.
Those are the things that matter so much more than that 20 pounds.
Yeah, it is about recognizing that the cycle of point A to point B, dopamine, feel good, gonna do that, and continuing that cycle, it's destructive. But if we think about things as a journey, then when you have a failure, everything up to that point doesn't go away. It's not over. It's not, I've fallen off the wagon. It's, what do I learn from this?
Mhm. Mhm.
How I made a mistake or I, you know, didn't do the things that I've been doing.
I
Things
went on
kind of fell apart.
vacation.
Yeah. Things kind of fell apart. I made some choices that weren't in line with the journey that I'm on.
Mhm.
What did I learn? Rather than throwing it all out the window and starting back at point A to try and get to point B, what did I learn? And I'm going to continue to walk forward.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that period of vacation or there was a lot of stress in my life or whatever, like that can be an extended period and you can reflect on it and say, okay, I didn't like the choices that I made, but I'm responsible for my own choices. No one is making me do anything I don't want to do.
Mhm.
And I chose to do these things. but I want different. So here's my journey.
Yeah. And I think it's important to like touch on the fact that setbacks are going to happen.
Absolutely.
They happen to everyone at various points in the journey, the
Yeah.
marathon.
Well, as a culture, we have made it not okay to fail.
Mhm.
Like if we look at how we are treating children, we have so many safeguards in place that everything has to be safe. Kids can't get hurt and everyone's a winner. So we're not experiencing failure and we've made it not okay for children to experience failure.
Mhm.
But as adults, we're also reflecting that in our actions, and children learn by watching us.
Mhm.
If we fail, it's awful. It's the worst thing ever, but it's not.
Mhm.
Failure is a part of life. Making mistakes, doing things incorrectly is important.
Mhm.
We have to do those
It's how
things
you learn.
because we have to look at them as learning moments.
Mhm.
If we don't like the outcome of something, we have to learn from it. We can't just, that was the worst thing ever, and I'm never going to do that again.
Mhm.
Well, you might, but what did you learn from it so it doesn't happen again?
Mhm.
And completely withdrawing and not ever doing anything, that's not a solution. You need to be willing to fail. You
Yeah.
need to be willing to make a mistake. And maybe you make the same mistake a few times before you actually learn from it. And that's okay too.
Yeah.
Sometimes we are slow learners about things.
What about the journey as a whole and enjoyment? Because I feel like we've talked on how and tried to portray how difficult it is, how failure will come into play, how setbacks are going to come into play. There
Yeah.
has to be a certain level of enjoyment
Yeah. This is,
for it to stick.
yeah. So this is something that I refer to as stopping to smell the roses along the way. And what I mean by that is when we get into the point A to point B culture that we're in, the cycle of instant gratification, we don't smell the roses. We are focused on, okay, I need to get from front door to front door, and everything in between doesn't matter.
Because it's mindless. It's just
But it doesn't need to be.
exactly.
It shouldn't be. Why is it mindless? Because culture has taught us that the destination is the important
That's the
thing.
only thing that matters.
It's the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
But everything along the way is, I would say, more important.
Hmm.
And that's learning how to celebrate the small victories. That's what smelling the roses
Yeah.
is learning to find the joy in life that you experience.
Yeah.
And when it comes to weight loss, I'm using weight loss as an example, but when it comes to weight loss, that is 1 pound. It could be 1 inch. It could be a new pair of clothes that is a size down. It could be all kinds of things. It could be a compliment someone gives you. Hey, you're looking more fit lately.
Hmm. Hmm.
Also, when it comes to going to the gym, I've been able to get to the gym every day this week. I
Yeah.
feel so good about that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to share a bit of my own personal journey coming from, I had major surgery in January of 2024. Was it last year? I think it was last January. No,
The year before.
the year before. So 2023, January of 2023, I had major surgery and I wasn't doing well. I actually gained a lot of weight because I was completely inactive during the recovery process. I went and visited family overseas for the first time, and I was at one of my heavier weights that I've ever been at
Mhm.
and felt pretty gross about myself. Came back, and the journey for me has been coming back from that trip, starting a really concrete gym routine, to doing a triathlon, to starting to play hockey again, to playing hockey 3 times a week now,
Mhm.
and there's been lots of failures in between that. There's been times when I've gotten sick. There was a significant loss in our family. There was all kinds of reasons why I could just stop because the destination that I had in mind, which I'm going to tell you, I still haven't hit my final destination, which is I'd love to see a one as the first number on the scale for me. I don't know how realistic that is,
Mhm.
but it would be really cool to see that. I haven't seen it since high school.
And it's okay to still have those goals.
Yeah. But I'm celebrating every little thing
Yeah.
along the way.
Yeah.
The fact that I'm able to play hockey 3 times a week and I'm not getting injured, I'm coming to the gym, I'm working full time, I do a lot around the gym, uh, like, busy, busy life, and I'm stopping along the way to enjoy that busy. I'm stopping every day to just be appreciative of who's in my corner, the celebrations that I get to be a part of, the really cool partnerships, the
Mhm.
all kinds of things that I get to do. I'm enjoying those things, and it's not about the end goal. It's
Yeah.
not about the destination. If I get there, great. If I don't, I'm learning things every day to help me with that.
Yeah. And I think we know that it's going to be hard. We know that it's going to be hard. We know that it's going to take time, but celebrating those small wins, you have to, because there has to be a certain level of enjoyment. That's what's going to help you get past the hard days, the days you don't want to, the clouds that we put over top of those small wins. There has to be a level of enjoyment to keep pushing you forward.
So it has to be.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you do something that feels awful forever?
Because I think a lot of people feel like they just have to, they have to.
If it feels awful, don't do it.
Yeah.
You get to choose what you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And there are many different paths to get to what you want. You can find enjoyment. You can try different things to find it. Um, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
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 I think,
What I enjoy is team sports. You said this morning.
oh, I hate
There's a,
it.
there's a reason I hate team sports.
Ugh,
I totally get
find me
that.
a sidewalk and I will run by myself.
Exactly, but we're all different people. We're all going to enjoy different things, and it doesn't even have to be fitness related. But if you're recognizing that the things that are bringing you the most joy in life are the things that give you the temporary fixes, I like I think you got to ask yourself, how sustainable is that?
Yeah. I think when we started losing weight way back when, um, just this conversation has made me kind of reflect. I do feel like had the goal of, I don't even remember if it was 50, or I probably had 100 pounds weight
Mhm.
loss as the initial goal. And that was, how quickly can I get from point A to point B? But along the way, you see s- the subtle flex in the mirror and how good you can feel. Those small wins made that 100 pounds not feel like, yes, I hit it, but it didn't matter so much because there
Mm,
were so many other positive things along the journey, along the marathon,
yeah.
that made that 100 pounds just not feel so like that's the only goal.
Hmm. Yeah, I completely agree, and I mean, it's great when people are able to do this naturally. It's great when people can find a way to do this in their life without really having to pay attention to it, sort of like what happened for you on your journey.
Mhm.
A lot of times, we're not really even aware we're stuck in this cycle.
Right.
We're not really aware that we spend 4 hours a day scrolling whatever social media platform because that next video is funny or
Mhm.
entertaining
Mhm.
or gives a,
Traumatizing either
yeah.
way. That too.
Yeah. And I think it's important to recognize that the only way to really know is to reflect for yourself and say, like, what is it that I'm doing?
Mhm.
And what am I doing just for me?
Mhm.
And are these like quick fix things?
Mhm.
And there's nothing wrong with having quick fix things once in a while. It's not do everything delayed gratification. No, like you absolutely can scroll your social media. You can absolutely enjoy some drinks out with friends. You can absolutely eat that bag of chips once in a while.
But is
but
that
it's moderation
right?
and making sure that it's not the only way we're getting
Right.
positive feelings.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that and recognizing, is that the pathway? It's okay, but is that the pathway to living my best life, my healthiest life? Whatever it is that the best pathway for it?
Yeah. I think, and we've talked a lot about this, but I think it's important to recognize that this is like really core, deep rooted psychology stuff that we're talking about. Like
Mhm.
this is how things have been built around us.
Mhm.
It's not necessarily our fault that the world is this way.
Mhm.
Like, of course, in consumption style culture, companies are going to try to find a way to get people to pay attention or to
Mhm.
consume their products
Mhm.
as much as they can. It's why gambling ads, like in gambling on sports and stuff, is so easy right now.
True. Yeah. Yeah.
Because, well, I'll put a $2 bet on this game and it gives me another reason to cheer.
Yeah.
And oh, now I've made $10 and I feel really good. And now I'm going to take that $10 and try to turn it into 100.
Mhm.
And then I lose and I feel bad and everything's awful, but I can just throw another 2
I
bucks
was
in.
gonna say, dang, that dopamine didn't last.
Yeah, because it doesn't. It
Yeah.
doesn't. It ends up turning to all kinds of other emotions that chances are you're trying to avoid by being in this cycle anyway.
Mhm. Mhm. So thinking about fitness, fly, and nutrition.
Yep.
So you're thinking the deep rooted psychology. Let's tie it into fitness and nutrition.
Okay.
Go for
Go for it.
it.
I feel
This
like
is
I
your
have.
podcast.
Yeah, I feel like I have really tied it into fitness and nutrition. I think if I were to ask you, what would be things in a if someone's goal, if they're coming to you to lose weight, Kate,
Mhm.
what would be some things that you would say to them to have them focus on the journey and not the destination?
I think for starters, and again, this is how my journey started. If they're saying that they want to lose 100 pounds, okay, here's what's realistic. And I think it starts from me sending out a Google form that says, tell me what your day looks like right now.
Hmm.
What do things look like right now? How can we add in little bits here and there, little tiny steps, stairs, we've talked about that before,
Yeah.
each day, each week, to build a lifestyle that feels sustainable. And also weekly check-ins that come with programming, but not only having those weekly check-ins touch on what does the scale say today, but keeping that reflective practice going and talking about, okay, how did the week go? Do you feel like your efforts matched your results? Do you feel like were any hurdles? Do you feel just helping people, one, celebrate the wins
Mm.
and navigate the hurdles?
Yeah. Then turn them into learning moments. I really like that. I think what can happen and what I hear when these check-ins happen can sometimes sound a lot like, this is really hard and I don't know if I like this and I don't know if I can do this, and like a lot of self-doubt,
Hmm.
a lot of
And with that mindset,
framing, yeah,
you won't.
yeah, a lot of framing things in a poor way because it's hard
Hmm.
and you're not getting that instant dopamine hit.
Hmm. I
I
never told anyone it was easy.
Yeah, for sure, because it's not. And what I'm talking about, changing this cycle is really hard.
Hmm.
But we get to choose the way in which we think about things.
Hmm.
I feel like I've said this before in another podcast. We decide what our mindset is about things. And if we decide that things are going to be so incredibly hard that we can't do them, or there's no possible way we can do them, or we're framing it as it's a chore that I have to do, I'm going to tell you, you're going to fail.
Hmm.
I'm going to tell you that it's going to go exactly how you believe it's going to go. And it's going to turn into a self fulfilling prophecy because our own unconscious bias is going to steer us that way because we're not even giving ourselves a chance.
Hmm.
We are defeating ourselves before we even start with that kind of mindset.
Yeah.
Instead, when we start thinking about things as the journey and trying to find the positives within that journey, even when it's hard, even when it's shitty, even when things suck, even when it's fucking awful.
What?
I think that might be the first F bomb on the podcast. But even when it's that, we get to choose how we think about it. And if we focus on that fucking awful, that's all we're going to see. But if we focus on the, I'm doing this for me, I have the opportunity to do this for
Mhm,
me.
mhm.
You know what? What I do really enjoy is the fact that I get to chat with Kate every Friday morning, or I get to be in a group challenge with a community of people that are all trying to get through the same thing that I'm getting through. Or you know what? I woke up today and I feel a little bit better than I've ever felt in a long time.
Mhm.
If we start rearranging our thoughts to be about that, it's really hard to feel shitty.
Yeah.
It's really hard to defeat yourself, even if all the other stuff is true. If you're thinking about and believing in the positive, if you're focusing on that positive energy, more positive energy is going to come. And the other thing that will happen is the people in your life will respond with positive energy as well.
Love it. Mic drop. I'll leave.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
just go.
But that's the reality of changing your mindset from instant gratification to finding reasons to be happy with the journey,
Mhm,
finding reasons to succeed, finding reasons that it's going to be okay.
mhm,
Because the reality is, to make any kind of change, you don't have to give up anything. You can continue. I'm saying, if you want to go out and have a few drinks with friends, go ahead. But drinking every day, that's a problem.
mhm.
If you want to go out and have a meal out, we friggin' ordered pizza last night.
Stuffed our whole face
Yeah,
full of
we
pizza.
sure did. I ate half of a large pizza all by myself. It felt great. I don't
Yeah,
feel so great today, but it felt great in the moment
yeah.
because you get that instant dopamine hit. But the reality is, you can have all of those things. You don't have to give anything up.
Mhm,
But is it aligning with my goals, and how often should I really be doing that?
mhm.
Once
And
a week is fine.
adjusting the expectation. Yes,
Yeah.
we had pizza last night. That's totally fine, but
I'm going to not feel my tip top shape today.
exactly. And if this morning were a check-in morning where we expected to jump on the scale and touch base with a coach,
Yeah.
yeah,
It might be up a little.
exactly.
It might feel a bit
But
bloated.
that's not a reason to throw in the towel and say screw it for good.
No.
One bad week, two bad weeks, three. None of these are reasons to completely throw in the towel, but they are all reflective pieces to,
Allow you to learn,
yeah.
like changing failure to learning opportunities, changing instant gratification to I'm going to love the journey that I'm on and I'm going to find positive every day.
Mhm,
Like these are skills, these are tips in order for you to really change your outlook on life.
mhm.
And
And change that psychology.
and the people around you will also change.
I like to always say in a lot of the challenges and groups and stuff that I do, the first step is forgetting what you think you know.
Yeah.
What you think you know works, what you think you know about health, wellness, weight loss, all of it. I want you to leave it at the door
Yeah.
because today is a new day and now we are going to learn from the bottom.
Yep. And so let's take that a step further and say, starting today, if you're listening to this podcast and you've made it this far, you've heard me say fuck, starting today,
So much swear word.
starting today, how can you start celebrating the small things? How can you change your thought process from, I need to get to point B, I need to just accomplish the goal, to what's in between?
Mhm. Don't do it for the quick fix. Don't do it for the reward. Don't do it for that quick validation. Don't do it for a quick number.
Do it because it makes you feel good,
Yeah.
and find the reasons why it feels good instead of the reasons why it's not going to succeed.
Wow. How do you feel?
I just had to get that all off my chest because it was really bothering me. Yeah. It was that it's a heavy conversation, but it's something that more and more you see because of how crazy we're getting with society in terms of just ease of access to quick,
Mhm.
instant gratification.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a challenge. Like the it feels like we're heading towards a time where we have our little robot in our pocket that's going to tell us that every bad idea we have is a good one, and never have to leave the house because they're also going to be doing most of the jobs and running the show. So the only thing left to do is sit and watch Netflix and eat a pizza
Get that quick hit of dopamine.
and buy things off of Amazon that'll be delivered right to your front door.
Yeah. Yeah.
But how happy are any of us actually going to be in that?
Mhm.
I know I won't be happy.
Happy and happy with ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Because then we're going from living life to just existing. Like that's really the difference
that's a
between these
really
two
good
things.
way to put it. Are you living or are you just
Existing.
existing? Yeah.
Yeah. Because like existing looks like instant gratification, constant, every day, all day, instant gratification, avoiding things,
Mhm.
all of these
Avoiding challenges, avoiding things that
could cause us discomfort,
Mhm.
that like
Mhm.
avoiding all discomfort.
Mhm.
And like we're just existing at that point. We're not living life. There's no experiences that we're having. We're not doing things. We're not participating.
Mhm.
But as soon as you start thinking about where you are on your own journey and just every moment of the day, every day, focusing on where you're at
Mhm.
and being mindful of your own journey
Mhm.
and the positives that are happening, not the negatives.
Mhm.
And not to say that you can't think about the negatives because you're going to have to,
Yeah.
but not letting that become everything and allowing for good to also be there.
The quote that comes to mind is and kind of reframing and retraining our brain is not about the things that you have to do, but that you get to do.
Yeah.
You're pretty friggin' lucky to get to do all of these things, to get out of bed in the morning, to work out, to live your life and not just exist.
Hmm.
It's not so friggin' bad.
No, it's not. And it can be fun if we want it to be, if we choose it to be, it can be fun.
It can be enjoyable. It's
Yeah.
going to be hard,
Yeah.
but it can be enjoyable. I will say that we've not really done a great job of keeping to our notes. So, is
Yeah.
there anything that you wanted to touch on that we haven't touched before we sign off on this one?
I think I really we like to have some sort of takeaway, and I think I said it, but I'll say it again. The takeaway from this is for you to just try and change your thought process even just a little bit and see how it makes you feel.
Hmm. Hmm.
See if there's a difference. And if there's a difference in one day, maybe it can extend to two. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's just one day and then you have another day in a week and slowly grow it from there. But allow yourself the possibility that it could change.
Love it. I don't even have any words.
Perfect.
That doesn't happen very often.
No.
Um,
I've
yeah.
enjoyed this one
Yeah.
because I got to
Wow.
talk a lot. I'm
Oh,
sorry if you don't like my voice.
I like it. Um, okay, so I guess that's this episode. Thank you for watching, for listening. We appreciate all of the feedback, the comments, the views, the listens.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe on YouTube, 5-star reviews, I think, on the other things. Um, we have lots more topics to cover. We are really excited to bring in, I know I said this last week and probably the week before, but bring in some of our community members to talk about their journeys, talk about um, what their journey has looked like, and also to bring in some experts, some community um, members, businesses that can also talk about things
That can help.
that can help, but that are often like we overthink them and we overshadow them with,
There's also a lot of misinformation out
yeah.
there, and there's a lot of stuff that just isn't particularly helpful and it's hard to weed through, but having somebody that's a bit of an expert that knows
Hmm.
the things to
Simplify it.
explain it so it's not so scary and intimidating and kind of feels a bit safer.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So as always, you are not alone.
Yeah.
Um, there are lots of people out there that are on a similar journey, maybe at different points, but working towards similar goals. Um, find your community, find your people, lean into them. If you think positively, they will even just find you.
Yep. It's very true. And you won't have space for the people that hold you down.
Love it.
Yeah.
Good one.
Thanks.
Nice job.
High five.
Oh, yeah.
Next time.